Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of insanity. No, another week of us talking and guiding you of the beautiful show, with the beautiful show, The Universal
Yes,
Lens.
sir. I am Tupac Shakur. And this is my friend,
You look just
Notorious B.I.G.
like him. Yes, you call me fat, bro? Oh, I'm actually down a few pounds.
Yeah, you're looking good, Woody.
Yeah,
Looking good, Woody.
I got my Woody shirt on today. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, you were talking about the shirt. Talking
Talking about something else. I'm a big fan of that. I like that country.
It looks really good.
What was his name? Paul Bunyan, like that lumber. I like that lumberjack look in the winter.
The guy on the brawny paper towel.
Yeah, no, this is my Sunday chilly day. I'm gonna go. I have to do some stuff in the yard later.
It looks good.
Yeah,
looks good.
It's comfortable.
Yeah,
it's comfortable. So we're back, everybody. So thanks for coming back. If you did come back, that's great.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you're lost. No,
yeah. And I was.
No, I'm not kidding. You're lost.
We didn't talk about this, but I was happy to see that you didn't realize who that person who commented was. You didn't know that.
No, I don't know who that person was, but she answered the question, thankfully, about the show.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for answering the question.
Yeah. I think her name was Mary Kay. Or something.
It was something like that. Yeah. So now it's somebody who obviously listened in that we don't know. See, our platforms are really weird, and I think we have to. I think the day's going to come. We're going to clean this all up and kind of really.
What?
And I'll tell you why. So between Facebook, and then we'll get into what we want to talk about today, because we're going to try to keep it a little shorter today. Between Facebook, YouTube, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and everything else, our platforms are very spread out. So the podcast version of it, like the apps like Apple, Google Chrome, those all kind of funnel Podbean the same way. But I think where we kind of make it a little confusing, I think, was with the whole Facebook, YouTube thing. So from now on, and Facebook's been giving me a hard time posting. I don't know. There's something about because it's a repetitive theme that we do. They think it's spam, and they would stop me. So I'm going to post it on Facebook, but it's going to be the YouTube video like I did last week. I'm not going to do it like we used to. I think it'd be good, and tell us if we're wrong. If we just kind of funneled it into one or two areas. So I'm noticing that podcasts that tend to want to really grab an audience, it's good to be on multiple platforms, but you focus on one or two. You want to drive everybody there. I think we kind of drive everybody a little bit all over the place because we want everybody to have an option, whatever palette you like, and that's great. It'll be available on all those things. But I think that's going to come a little bit down the line because some things might change, a little bit with how we're doing things. So we'll see.
Listen, the point is, we continue to do it. We continue to be here.
Yes, sir.
Right? And then however it comes at you, it comes at you.
However it comes at you, it comes at you. As long as it keeps coming at you.
Yeah, and we hope you take benefit from it, and we hope you enjoy it while you take benefit from it, and you don't just consider us two wild and crazy guys.
You Borat?
It's a mix of Borat and Steve Martin.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Was that from
Saturday Night Live?
Saturday Night Live?
And so it's Borat. Yes.
Yes.
My name is Borat.
My name is Borat. My wife.
She is
my kids love that movie.
Really strong.
My sister is number 2 prostitute in Kazakhstan.
And my brother Milo the rapist.
It's a horrible movie, but it's funny as hell. Yeah, it really is.
You gotta have a sense of humor.
You have to have a sense of humor about everything.
And actually, having a sense of humor really helps you a lot.
You ever hear that saying, don't take life seriously?
Yeah.
Because nobody gets out alive anyway. So that statement in and of itself encompasses everything we talk about here. It really does. And now a lot of people are really big on catchphrases and quotes and, these sayings as these pointers. And I always wonder, and I actually realized this with just some stuff I did this weekend on Instagram and Facebook. I posted something. I could post a video of us talking and okay. And then I could post a quote and people who I know, immediately like it within minutes, like within a couple minutes, pop, pop. And these are people who don't like the other content, which is fine. It's not about liking one content over the other, but it's funny how the quote or the picture with a quote that doesn't have a lot to it, not going to require more than 20 seconds of their time. They don't have to think. They can just read. They like that stuff right away. It's liked and gone. Like, oh yeah, awareness is that, blah, blah, or some catchy power, some catchy phrase or something. Pop, pop, pop. People tend to like it right away. They just tend to like it right away.
Well, I think it's like when you were a kid in school. When you were a kid in school, when it came down to your English class, but then perhaps there was another class taught by another teacher and in a different way that captivated you, even though you didn't have any interest in it. And it happened to me. It happened to me a lot. And I think we all interpret things differently. We all have invisible, let's say, channels.
Yes.
You came into this one, and I like this one. Came in through this one. I like this one. And you connected that way, and that prompted that person receiving to, oh, I like that. I like that. But perhaps the long format video, I got to sit through.
To get the message?
Right.
Yeah, but
and they don't enjoy it.
But that's what I was kind of saying when people like that saying, don't take life too seriously when we get out of limit. Like, I'll hear people say that a lot. And people will have these quotes all over their houses and pictures, and they're beautiful. I have one in PA that says the same thing. Don't take life seriously when we get out of limit anyway. And it's kind of that YOLO, you only live once mentality, right? And which is all fine and well.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah, it's exactly where I'm going. It's all fine and well, but do you really understand what it means?
Right.
Or do you understand only on a superficial level exactly what it means? So I put out a picture yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. You saw the picture of the two cars? Sure. So there's a meaning behind that. Like, people think it's like, I don't think people think it's about the cars, but it got a few likes right away.
I shared it.
From friends of mine who don't like anything else I usually post. And again, not that they don't.
Right. They don't have to.
They don't have to. But it's funny that did, because it's two pretty cars. One is of a friend of mine and one was my car. And we were driving around the block and we parked next to each other and we started talking. And his wife was outside and took the picture. And then he sent it to me later. He goes, look at this photo. I'm like, wow. I go, that could be a magazine cover for like a car ad, right? But I'm looking at the picture and I'm like, look at that picture and look what it says. I'm like, there's meaning there. And I said, you have a, modern, technologically advanced vehicle on one side, and you have a bare bones 1955 beautiful classic, no frills truck on the other side. Both are from different worlds. Both look at things. They have different views of what they're looking, and their experiences are different. But at the same time, there's still a common love for the same thing there. And my point wasn't about the cars in that picture. It was about life. Like, you could be in different places. You could see life differently. You could look differently. You could have a different background. But at the same time, we both love and appreciate the same exact thing. So when I sent that picture out, I was like, let me see if people actually and I put, a little saying there. But I wonder if people really understand what I'm trying to get at, or they're just seeing two cool cars and that's why they're liking it. Yeah, okay. I don't know. This is just something I've noticed lately with, like, especially with my accounts. Like, when I post certain things, like, they'll get traction, other things won't. And it's okay. Well, what's kind of cool and,
So this is kind of what I was talking to you before the show. It's just me noticing things. That's all it is. It's me. For me, it's that awareness where I see things and I notice these patterns, or I notice the way people act and interact. So what happens, I think, okay, this is theoretical. I think what happens is you are well down the road of mindfulness, so it's not new to you anymore. It's something that's already ingrained, encrypted. I'm going to tell you something. That is one of the unintentional secondary benefits of mindfulness, is that
I like the way you played that in.
Did you like that?
Yeah. You said we were going to talk about that.
Yeah. And
you're smooth.
Yeah, smooth is what I do. Yeah, it's just smooth. I break my leg, smooth comes out. Not blood, smooth comes out. John, you saw that picture and you put that together.
Yes.
Because of how you've wired
your
mind.
Correct.
Because
I got to get closer.
I can show that picture to many other people, and you know what they're going to say? Oh, 2 cool cars, bro. And that's
better.
There is nothing further than 2 cool cars. Oh, look, 2 douchebags saying hi to each other on the street, right?
two douchebags.
Right? In other words, there's many different interpretations that you can. You chose to interpret that picture that way.
Yeah.
Because it's an unintended secondary benefit of mindfulness that puts you in
a better position to see things differently. Your perspective. So my perspective was one of not even the cars. It had not, like when they sent me that picture, I was like, wow, it's cool. But as soon as I saw it immediately, I said, 2 different worlds coming together, people from different places, like it's black and white, Muslim and Christian, like that's where my mind went. But realizing that it's still a love and appreciation for the same thing. For me, it was humanity. Like that's where my perspective was going. But I used those 2 pictures of the cars as a gateway to maybe make that point. And I'm wondering to myself, I'm like, I wonder how many people actually, and this isn't to say I'm smarter or no, that's not it. But I'm thinking, I wonder how many people actually saw that and will realize where I was trying to go with it or not, It's just the way social media is.
It's probably the equivalent of whatever the, okay, I don't want to butcher anything, but whatever the Jewish Pope is, the Jewish version of their Pope meets the Catholic Pope, and there they are, and they're shaking hands, meeting for the first time. So many ways to interpret that picture. Many ways. We would probably interpret it as, that's awesome. That's awesome because
2 worlds coming together, different, different perspectives.
Right.
I mean, different beliefs, backgrounds, different belief systems, but there's still one common.
And usually what happens?
Yeah.
Well, when you're in a belief system, you believe that this is the best, the way, this is the one. Well, they're both thinking that, and yet there they are, agreeing that we have a friendship, we have this commonality. So we see it that way. We see it as a beautiful moment. Somebody else can probably see that and go, look at these 2. Yeah, all you do is rob people blind. You follow me? So there's many. And by the way, that was just one quick one. But there's so many different versions of what you're looking at.
Yeah, sure.
And it all comes down to the lens with which you see things. And
is it a universal one or no?
Right. And quite frankly, that's where the universal part comes in, is that this lens, this mindfulness lens, is something that lends itself, no wordplay, the lens lends itself to a very productive state of being, a very productive state of mind. And I gave you a bunch of examples of how I now have interactions with people, and I've always been pretty good, I think, at reading the room. I've always been pretty good at reading people, feeling the energy. But I find myself now in a whole different, observation mode.
Sure.
Where I didn't pick that up before. I would see your picture before, and I would see your picture, and it would be in 1D. Never mind 2 or 3D.
Yeah, you see things 3-dimensionally. Yeah,
you saw that picture 6D because you're like, wow, you read right through a whole bunch of things. It's not even about cars anymore. No.
For me, it was about trying to make an example of how 2 worlds can how in today's society we're so divided and so many things, and people have their belief systems, right? And belief systems are very rigid, like and there's no common denominator anymore. That picture was to show an example where there is a common denominator, and the only way you're able to notice that common denominator is if you have awareness, if you have a presence in your life, mindfulness in your life. If you're a person who can watch themselves think and not take their thoughts too seriously, or not take their thoughts seriously at all, and realize that at the core of it all, it's all about living life and experiencing life, and everything else kind of melts away. So whether you want to drive a 1955, I think it was a GMC pickup, or you want to drive a 2022 Tesla. Okay, what's it? Meanwhile, like, and not, this isn't about cars, but like people who, electric cars, gas guzzlers. It's an appreciation for the automobile, right? Let's just say for that. But take the cars away and like you said before, make it 2 popes. Make it 2 world leaders from different worlds, different backgrounds. Their societies are different. Everything's different. But there's a common, we are one. And this isn't like to be preachy, but the only way you realize that is if you have that awareness. If you realize that your belief systems, everything you've been told and thought throughout your life, everything that you know is just information you've gathered. None of it is reality. Your reality is what you choose to make it be. You get to choose on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute by minute, on a second by second basis. You get to choose what you want your reality to be, no matter what the circumstances around you are.
Yeah.
I choose my reality to be one of, I see everybody as one. I see the world as one. I see people as one. And yes, there are assholes in the world. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Because assholes are unconscious people who don't have any awareness. And even the asshole who is an unconscious person is still there's a presence in them. That awareness and that presence just has not come to the forefront yet.
Yeah.
So their mind, their belief systems, what they've been told and thought, everything that they think that they know is what they are. But still it's there. That awareness is there. It's just not bright enough, hasn't come to the forefront enough. They haven't paid attention enough internally to notice it and to see beyond their mind.
And hold that thought on the asshole. Hold that thought. Because
I might have to change this from for children to not for children at some point.
Listen, these are unintended.
I haven't got any complaints yet from the FCC or anybody, so we're good.
These are unintended thoughts. But hold that thought on the asshole, because again, I'm harping on the secondary benefits of mindfulness because I'm completely becoming aware of them. So I want to share with you. So, you can have a person in front of you who is obviously just an asshole because that's just...
They're unconscious, yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of... But you having the universal lens...
Can see past it.
To see... Not only do you see past it, but you're searching and you're finding that goodness. You're finding that place.
You're finding the common denominator in the both of you. It's exactly what I said. Yeah, that's what I said before. But continue.
But you don't notice it. In other words, you don't notice that you're doing it until you notice that you're doing it. It's such a reprogramming that.
So reprogramming for yourself, because it's hard to the other person.
No, for yourself.
You could see it in them and realize. So you see there. So like you gave me an example before, not to name people's names, of that person who was kind of very unconscious, right? So you saw immediately in that person a negative
vibe,
right? And I said, yes, I have somebody in my life who I know who's very much like that also.
And we love them to death.
And they are the best people in the world. They have hearts of gold. Mm. They're super intelligent. They would lay down in front of a train. They would give you the shirt off their back. Yep. They are as beautiful a person, that's what you said before, as could come. But they are negatively unconscious. Yeah. Negatively unconscious in everything, in the way their thought patterns go. But still, you see it in that person, and you see that there's something greater than in them. But it's hard to make that person see it on their own.
Yeah.
You can't force it upon them. That's where we go back to one of the early episodes. You could be a mirror and a reflection for them, where you hope that eventually they look, and what they see in you now, when they see you, they're seeing a reflection of themselves, and then they realize, oh my God, I don't like what I see. I'm not liking. Like, you become a mirror for them. Instead of trying to tell them, you become a mirror, and they go, like, they'll hear themselves. They'll say it, and they'll hear all of a sudden, what did I just say? Wow, that's when it hits. When that person realizes what they just said, or how they're acting, or how their negative thought patterns keep them trapped, that's when that person kind of realizes it then.
Is that 100% the case, or is that...
Oh, nothing's 100%.
Okay.
I don't think. What do you mean?
Meaning, is that the way that the human works? In other words,
human's very complicated.
Yeah, like
very complicated.
I'm going to give you some examples. So, like,
please explain.
Years ago, you go ahead and you start talking to me about some of the things going on in your mind, and I received you in a way that probably even you thought, wow, like, okay, and that's where we really connected because I'm receiving you.
You didn't discard it and change the conversation.
Right. It wasn't.
You stayed engaged.
To me, not that it was the opposite of weird. It was, oh my God, John, thank you for sharing this, because now let me tell you about me. And so I'm wondering, is if you were to go to somebody and you were to have that same experience with somebody, and you're going ahead and you're talking, that person that you're talking to, person B, might receive you differently, and all right, John, maybe you should go seek some help, bro, because that. So now turning around to your question, when somebody can see you as the example, they might start questioning themselves and go, wait, what if, you're leading by example, kind of a deal, where I'm not picking up on your example. Like, I'm blind to it. Like, does that work 100%, or is it 50-50? That person will see you as an example and start to question and maybe lean towards change. Because
will the person see themselves?
Because me, I see you and I pick it up quickly and I lean towards the change. I like I like that I saw the reflection and I saw something I didn't really particularly like about myself, and I got to fix that, and I will work on it. So I perceive it differently because I'm in tune.
Uh-huh.
But maybe somebody else might see your example, the asshole might see your example and go, it doesn't penetrate. Even though you're giving good examples, you're not being judgmental. You don't fall into the, let's say, negative trap. You don't fall into the, let's talk about politics trap. Will everybody follow? No.
And the answer is going to be no, because every human being is different. We're all different. Depends on the person, if they're willing to, if they're not so unconscious where they could see that reflection and notice it. Not everybody's going to. Some people, they never have the opportunity to realize, the madness in their minds. Let's just say they don't. No matter what you could be the reflection. If you're around somebody long enough on a daily basis, I think you have a really, 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 really high probability of accomplishing that.
Okay.
If this is somebody you're around sporadically, I think it's much more difficult. So if you're there around them, or if you're around them, let's just say once every few weeks, and the other 2.5 weeks, or the other days you're not there with them, they're around other people of like perspectives. I don't even want to say like mine, but like their perspectives the same, very negative, very engaged in all this mental ruminations and stuff. Well, that behavior is gonna keep getting
fortified.
And then when you come along, oh, okay,
your influence isn't strong enough.
No, because you're not there. You're not around them enough to make that to have that effect on them. So it'd have to be somebody you're around, like, be somebody like, and even if you're around them every day, there's no guarantees. No, there's no. But you have a better shot of accomplishing that goal because your example of how you're living life and how you're looking at life and how you're manifesting life, or how how no matter what's going on in your life, you could deal with, negative situations that aren't an ideal or whatever, but not change your perspective on life and be able to put out a higher frequency. Well, that's going to resonate with somebody if they're around you a lot, because eventually they're going to feel that, and they're going to feel like, I like I like this. Like, no matter what's happening, where there's a light feeling around us anyway. And then they could go deeper, and how it depends on how far they want to go with either meditating or mindfulness. And listen, the deeper you go into a meditation, the more you do it, the more beneficial it is. But they have a great shot, right, of getting there. Like I said, I've seen the difference with the people in my core, my nucleus, let's just say, right? Like my immediate family, my wife, my kids, maybe a couple of really, 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 really close friends, where I've noticed differences because, well, I wasn't that plug anymore for them. Well, now first it becomes, I'm not amplifying that negative emotion. So that person we were speaking about before, I'm sure once you're gone and maybe you weren't feeding it, that person does not have a lack of outlets for her to plug into. Is that right? Yes or no?
Right.
So as long as that's the case, it's hard. Like you could be there, you could be every so often. It's going to be hard for you to be a mirror for that person. You could be a mirror in the moment, but in order for that person to make a change in their life, there's got to be a willingness for them to change. And I think if you're around them enough, well, then all of a sudden they start to realize, oh, wait, hold on. I noticed something different. Right? So let's say there's somebody who hasn't seen you for 4 months. Old friend. Right. They've known you for years. They knew Henry. They knew John. They see you and they go, and they're talking to you and they go, something different about you. Like, I don't know. Like there's something off. I can't, like, there's a different vibe I'm getting from you. And I've heard this. And that's when you know that, you are vibrating on a higher frequency, to say that, or you're resonating on a higher level, or you're more aware, whichever word you want to use. That's how you know you're there. When people start to notice it, and use people you haven't seen in a while. But if you're around those people enough, like I was saying before, you have a better shot of them actually. I'm saying so 100%. Yeah. You can't be around somebody once and we're going to put on, we don't, this isn't healing. We're not going to heal you. Look, it's not, this is a miracle work. It's internal work. The miracle is, as Jim Carrey said, be the miracle. You want a miracle, be the miracle, right? And I forgot the name of the movie. The one when he was a newscaster. I forgot the name of the movie. Anyway, maybe our friend will tell us.
Yeah. If you could let us know.
So it's not 100%. I mean, to sum it up, it's not 100% unless you're around that person enough. Then
so it may not be 100%, but I insist you develop. I'm going to use the word superpowers, but they're not. It's just simply.
Well, yeah, I get it.
You develop a new set of skills.
Yep. And
you weren't expecting them. I wasn't expecting a new set of skills, but I'm happy with these new set of skills. I'm enjoying the bells and whistles that come along with
it's great
with this perspective. It's something that I wish it for everybody, and I think that's a little bit part of the frustration where you wish it for everybody, but hey, everybody's got to.
Well, you could wish it for everybody, but doesn't mean everybody wants it back.
Right. It's got to be on your own time. And I think it all comes down to what you just said even earlier is, you hear a lot of these self-help gurus, professionals, all say the same thing.
Oh, we're talking about a couple of different people, how they have, like, if you listen to multiple podcasts of them, you're like, that sounds just like the interview he gave last week.
Well, no. I'm saying, they all say the same thing in terms of...
Oh, you mean at the core of what they're talking about. Yes.
In terms of...
Agreed.
Listen, you can't change the external things around you, but you certainly could change the internal thing.
Which will change the external things around you.
You could choose to believe it. You could choose to believe it or not believe it, right? So I'm gonna admit to you something. And I think we grew up similarly. I grew up in a very skeptical environment.
Yes, me too.
Right? So yeah. I think we connect.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, honestly, my mom wasn't having it for anybody. Like, it's skepticism
101.
Like,
yeah.
The whole way. So when you go ahead and tell me, and I got to hear guru after guru and professional after professional tell me, you want to change the world outside of you? Well, change what's going on inside of you so that now you can somewhat attract better things to come to. What? Honestly, What? That's why one of my hangups during the show, I noticed that me and you have hangups. We have hangups. What does that mean? Predisposed ways of thinking. I'm going to tell you one of yours, and I'm going to tell you one of mine.
Predisposed ways of thinking. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm going to tell you one of yours, and you can be like, oh, shit, you're right. I hope. And I'm going to tell you one of mine. So one of mine is that I'm constantly thinking that they're skeptics. Looking at us, skeptics looking at us going, what a bunch of crap. What?
Yeah, I didn't see that in you. But okay. Yeah, I could see that that automatic thought comes up. Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't caught that about me.
Well, I mean, we don't, yeah.
Because I constantly address the skeptic who says, that's a bunch of crap. And then I say, well, whether it be a bunch of crap or not, did it give you some benefits? If it gave you some benefits, then let it be what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And enjoy the benefits.
I can see, yeah. It's just, yeah. All right. I see it.
And one of your hangups is that you always want to make clear that we do this with the best of intentions and we're not trying to
I do that.
Take advantage or make a profit or anything like. It's to the best of our best of intentions is out there.
Sure, I do. And I do say that a lot.
Yeah, and you harp on it because this is a preconceived thought of yours that you're thinking the other person is thinking. Nobody's thinking. I wasn't thinking that. But you don't have to tell me that.
I don't. You know what? I don't even think it's because I'm thinking that the people behind that little lens in front of me are thinking that I'm making the money. I think for me. So you're right. You're right that I do say that a lot. 110%. I do say that a lot. I justify that, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not really looking to dive deep. I would say it's because there's something inside of me that feels, and this is, I don't know if this is even the place to talk about this, but something inside of me that feels like I should, like this is something I want to do, and it's not about the money, I guess. And I guess it's something that just I want to just kind of confirm that, like that I don't do this for, and maybe it's because I noticed, and maybe because I've been a business owner for 20 years. I understand 20, 30 years almost. I understand what it means to make a profit. And I understand how it means to market your company to make a profit and to work your company to make a profit and to make money. And I've always said since day one when I started doing any mindfulness work, I always said because I had a job. And it's probably because I had a job and I had a career and I had a business that, thankfully, has done well. And whenever we've worked at it for years, maybe because of that, I said, I don't want this to be, and I've always said this is one of the first things I said in therapy when I started becoming an advocate. I go, I'm not doing this because I'm not looking for a job, because I know there are advocates who it's a job for them. And that's great. Listen, make money on it. Absolutely. Right. YouTube influencers who do mindfulness work, or listen, Eckhart Tolle makes money off of it. He's made a lot of money off of it. Dr. Joe Dispenza has made, all these guys, Tony Robbins, they've all made tons of money off of it. I don't think they do it because of the money. I don't know them. I shouldn't say. Eckhart Tolle is probably the one that I followed enough to know that he has said multiple times he never did this for the money. He did it because he just wanted to do it, and the money came afterwards. So I think that mentality is I've adopted that, where I'm doing this because I care about it and I want to get the word out. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to create a business out of it, so to speak. Even though my next part of my venture kind of does become maybe a business, but again, there's a reason why I'm even doing it that way.
Let me tell you. So here's what I learned, and we sidetracked.
Yeah, I don't know. We did sidetrack. I don't know, but you made me kind of go down that.
But this deserves a proper address.
There you go.
I'm gonna tell you something that I heard a lot of people talk about. If you don't make profit, or if you don't make gains, you really money. As I understand it now, money is energy. It's not just money; it's energy.
It depends how you look at it.
If I have in John a battery, and I can energize that battery, I probably will get more performance out of John charging it well. And so instead of reaching one or two people, the more powerful John's battery becomes and the more energy it has, you're probably reaching hundreds,
Yeah, which is why I'm kind of embarking on something new.
That's right.
Soon.
So
yeah.
I believe that what happens is we have this evil, negative connotation when it comes to money.
Oh,
and we're so careful.
100%.
We're so careful about it, right? So, like, for example, say you've been successful in your life. Like, you don't want to walk around going, I've been successful. I got a couple mil.
Well, there's different ways to do it.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
But when it comes to this work,
it's like a therapy session right now. Holy shit.
Yeah. But the way, this is me sharing ideas, that when it comes to this work.
No, but it's spot on.
Let's say, again, let's take us to, Oprah. So we started this, in a very small, rudimentary way, and just to kind of help our circle of friends. And if more people come in and they enjoy and they get a benefit, great. For us, it's like, that's freaking awesome. When more people are being touched and influenced and improving upon their situation. Now, imagine the situation where we start getting paid for this. Well, that's fantastic. And sure, we'll take that payment. But what we're going to do with that payment is now we can say, all right, you know what? Now we have this vehicle here, and maybe
reinvest it into.
There's going to be more fruit. And guess what? Shit, when you did that, now Oprah's calling. Hey, we want you on the show. Oh my God, Oprah! And it doesn't matter because we won't deviate from the plan. The plan was, I want to share with you something that really turned my life around. And if one person leads to 10, leads to 100, leads to 1,000, and you got paid along the way, that's probably what was supposed to happen. That probably was your intention, because, in other words, not your intention, but the intention for you. That was the intention for you. As I, and I'll blurt this out there though. So, like, I'm working with a coach, right? A life coach.
Yeah.
And she asked me a question. She goes, "What do you want to do?" I can't answer that. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah. See, and I think that's where, when you go back to what you were saying about what you noticed in me before, like, and we had this conversation. You said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Exactly what I'm doing." Like, this is what I want. Like, I want to spend. I would love to spend the rest of my life talking with people, helping them, and not in a therapy session. Like, to be, if I could relive my life again, I guess I probably would become a therapist, because I do enjoy that one-on-one in helping somebody get over their mental roadblocks in life. I like this. Like, you've asked me, like, what would you want to do? And I said, this. Like, whether it's the podcast or the book, or just talking with sporadic people one-on-one, people I never met, I didn't know, a friend who knew somebody and said, hey, text this guy John, he's been through this kind of stuff, he could kind of give you some guidance. Like that's, for me, that's why that's what I want to do. So maybe I don't attach the monetary to it, because I think by doing that, now I'm forming a business and I need to be profitable, because because my mind automatically goes to business equals profit, because I've done that for 20, 30 years of my life.
And it does.
It does. So I've worked on and even though I say it a lot here, I have worked on understanding that the money's the vehicle that needs to be a necessary part, I guess, in today's society in order to expand certain things. And I'm starting to adapt that, not because, and I almost did it again, not because I'm trying to make money, quote unquote, but because I'm understanding, and whether I make money or I don't, it doesn't make a difference. But I'm understanding that vehicle is needed, I think, in order to reach more people, and only because our society is built in that way. So if we were 400 years ago, when we traded sheepskin for something else,
people would put steaks in front of us,
exactly,
pieces of meat,
and that would be that'll be the trade. And money has such a negative, because society has given it such a negative aura around it, right? Where, like, they say money is king, money is God, money is, and I think that's where, like, that's why I always want to say, like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to get paid for it someday. Okay, great. I've started to adopt that, like, that voice in my head that would always say that. This is one of the things that I worked on with when I worked with Alex Mills, he was a Zen. I've spoken about before. He was a Zen monk for 14 years, and I worked with him. He had a retreat that I did with him, It was an online retreat because he's in Colorado, but I did with him, and I learned a lot about these little voices that would cause blocks for me. And that's when I wrote the book and I started the podcast. But there's always been one that I've always seen there, and it's always been rooted around the almighty dollar. That's why I guess I wanted to keep this so pure for me, because I know I love, and there's an inherent joy in me helping people. And I didn't want to spoil it by sprinkling. And that's why I would always say that. But I've come to realize that I'm not spoiling it by doing that.
No.
It actually acts as a amplifier to get to more people eventually.
So and
that's what mindfulness does for you, and awareness. You actually start to see that in yourself.
And I'll go even further. So now,
and you noticed it, which is amazing.
Right, but and I'll go even further. So now you're investing 100% of your time into the activity. And then if you don't draw anything to support yourself in this, because you need money in society.
Sure. Absolutely. Agreed.
So,
and because I had a job, that's why I think, and that was another reason why.
And I'll go one step further.
Yeah.
It's very possible that you'll do better, as good as you did privately. You'll do even better in this activity than you did in the past. Yeah. And you're going to be beside yourself because you're in the first inning, you're going to have that.
Who thought this episode would end up on?
But in the first
inning, I love
inning,
the show.
It is pretty good. In the first inning, you're going to have that duality where, oh man, I feel bad. And then by the second inning, you understand you're supposed to take this in because there's this mission that you're after. And that's just going to lead to the third and fourth and fifth inning.
Yeah.
And you're probably
I just had a breakthrough. I didn't think I had any more, but I think I just had another breakthrough.
And you're probably going to realize that right there you're nearing 50, 40.
I'll be 49.
Okay. So
very, very, very soon.
Right. But I want to give it time. So you're going to realize right then and there, you're probably 50, 51, 52, whatever that is. Hell, I say you'll be 49. You're going to realize right then and there, go, wow. The cogs click and you're like, holy shit. I feel like fully purposeful and I have money coming in. Like this is the ultimate reach. The money, look, the dollar aspect, the
monetary aspect of it is to reach more people because that's just the way it works in our society.
But you're allowed to make a living.
You're allowed to make a living. And you're allowed to make a living. And I would say for me, I think it was always because I was making a living doing something. I didn't want to start a second business. Like I didn't want a second. I wanted to do this because I love to do it. And I think it kept going there. And because I had my other job, my other business, I never even thought about it. But I've realized over time, but what you said was spot on. Like I do that. And I've noticed I've done that for a very long time. I've noticed I've done that. And I've always kind of fallen back on other spiritual teachers who I've worked with. And they've always kind of had the same thing. It's, yes, we need money to survive. But I had this before I had the money, before I made any money doing it. And if I make money doing it, that's great. But we realize that that's how we reach more people, is by making people pay for something. You hold their feet to the fire on it also, right? Because when something's for free, a lot of times people tend to say, well, whatever. I'll listen. I don't have to listen. I'll listen. I don't have to listen. I'll listen. I don't have to listen. But if I say, you're going to give me $1,500 for the next 30 days or whatever, I don't know. And we're going to work on this. And that person's going to be like, every day they're going to be like this. Look, here's my check. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Full engagement.
I'll do that. Wow. All of a sudden, you have their attention.
Full engagement.
You have their attention. Because that's what money has done to people. If I'm going to give you money, you got my attention. And I think I would love to live in a world where you didn't need to give me money to get my attention. Like, I don't need to give you money to give you my attention. I'm the kind of person, I don't need to pay you to be fully engaged in what you're saying and hear you and maybe learn from you or to work with you. That's just me. But we live in a society where a lot of people are like that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's got to be used as a vehicle. So yeah, you were spot on.
No, and this situation has made me reflect a lot. And so, I'm wondering. So I listened to the question. What do you want to do? And I'm like,
we can wrap it up. You gotta go.
Sure. And I'm like, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what I want to do because, I'm a stone guy. You're a contractor, and this is what we've been doing. It's like this is what we know.
Do you enjoy doing this?
Very much so. So I start to think about why I enjoy this. Why I enjoy this. And that's powerful. Like, well, I enjoy this because A, B, C, X, Y, Z. And then I start to realize, what are some things that you're innately good at that nobody had to teach you? You're just born with these skills. And well, one of those skills was that connection with people. Like you've told me, and you've told me you've had conversations with people about me, and you're like, that guy, he can sell or he can connect. Or okay, so I enjoy doing this, and I like connecting with people, and that's like a secondary skill. If you meet me on a one-on-one, I think we'll connect in some capacity, whether it's our love of bonsai trees or our love of baseball or whatever it is, we'll have a connection. I think I've narrowed it down that I think I'm a communicator. I didn't know this about me.
Okay.
I'm not a salesman. I'm a communicator.
No, you're not a salesman. I mean, I don't know. Salesman's a very loose term anyway.
And I hate to pigeonhole myself.
But communicator is a good way to put it over salesman. Salesman can be anything, really.
I'm a communicator. And I think back and I go, wow, the clues were there. I just never knew it. I use my hands. And if I can't connect, and if I can't transmit the idea this way, let me try this way. And if I can't, let me try this way. Because I'm trying to communicate. I'm trying to land an idea. And how many times even during this show, I'll bring up some abstract example and you're like, holy shit, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't sit there and think about it. That's just what I do. And I think when you match these natural abilities and then you match that why, like, why are we doing this? So I don't do this with you because I like to communicate. I do this with you because I want to make sure there's somebody watching that was struggling and was like, I need to just get out of my head. I need to, like, the world is ending for me. There's another way. There's another way. And by the way, we all feel like this at some point. We just matched a natural ability with a why of deep purpose. And if you get paid for that, that's glorious. That's like,
yeah. And I really think it comes down to where do you, yeah, if you get paid for it, I guess it is glory. It is glory. I guess it is. Yeah, it is.
You know
glorious.
What the problem is?
We
can't break the mental chains of equaling. Ready? Watch this.
But I'm not trying to equal.
No. Watch this.
Oh yeah,
I will.
Well, what's his name? Scrooge. Scrooge McScrooge. Just
I will rip these unsuspecting people off.
Yeah,
and we can't break that because,
like the preacher on
it's just
Sunday morning TV.
It's just a conditioning. But once we realize ourselves that what we're doing is
it is a conditioning.
What we're doing is so freaking beautiful. It's so powerful that if you get paid along the way, damn it, that's the way it's supposed to be, and don't think of it anything more than what it is.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying before. It's a vehicle to amplify what you're trying to do. But there's and I think when you know that when internally inside you know the difference, your approach is different, and also I think the frequency you put out is different. So so if you approach it with this is my money, money.
Hey, you're doing that too good. That's too
like
good.
Daffy Duck, mine, all mine. You remember Looney Tunes? If you're looking at it that way, then yeah, sure. Then that's going to be your approach. It's going to be transparent. It's going to come out that you're doing it for that. But if you're not doing it for that, if you're doing it with the intention of this is my life purpose, and if making money is going to be a symptom of it, then I'm okay with having that symptom. but I think it's a necessary symptom to have in order to reach more people.
Yeah.
And that's something I've realized lately more than anything else. Like, I could invest my personal money, thousands of dollars, into doing this if I wanted to. I don't think I would reach as many people as if the platform gets reworked, where it's something where, hey, listen, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. I could give you these services, those services, but it's gonna, there's gonna be some sort of a monetary value. Then I think all of a sudden, it's me. Like, am I naive sometimes for even thinking this? I don't even know, right? Because I don't take my thoughts too seriously. But sometimes I'm like, okay, am I taking? Maybe should I take this one a little bit more seriously? Am I naive for thinking that like people are like people have to spend money in order to like take something seriously? They have to give you money to do it.
It's a definite.
Like for me, it's like things like this shouldn't, like, there's that mentality that says it's like this should be something everybody should have.
Yeah, it's a definite,
right?
It's a definite thing to consider. But I'll put it to you this way: if you devoted yourself to solely this, and you had no income, no other income,
it'd be different, I guess.
No, it would be 100%. different.
Yeah.
Not I guess, for sure.
Yeah,
because now you're jeopardizing your family situation.
Yeah.
Now, oh man, now
I think because I had a job when I've been doing this, because I have a job, I have income. I looked at it as I always said I didn't want another job, but now I'm realizing that I'm not able to. Sorry, we're not able to, because I keep saying me, but we're not able to take this. We're not able to reach other people. I think because the platform that we're kind of using is very. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it could be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're wrong about it. But I don't know. I mean,
what I just want to pass on my feeling to you is this. I believe that I'm a very sentimental person.
Absolutely.
Like, I think you're the same way.
Sure.
Like, I have a very quick cry trigger.
Empathetic. You have empathy.
Yeah,
and it's a great quality to have.
And good in some respects. And
it's a great quality to have.
Right.
With awareness. Without awareness, it'll torture you.
Right.
It'll fucking torture you, empathy.
So, like, if I'm talking to somebody and I know that I connected and I know that I made that difference and I have the person, their eyes tell me everything and they're illuminated and they're like, wow, thank you so much. I go, oh my God, thank you. Like, it touches me in a way that money can't.
Yes, and I think that's what always kept me in like that. I just keep doing this mentality because...
And I think that that's what's going on with you. This practice touches you in a way that money doesn't. But
110%.
But let's go.
Yeah.
But we need money. So
yeah,
we don't have to feel guilty. We don't have to feel weird. Simply put, listen, I love doing this. But this is what I charge because
never thought we were going to end up here when we started this conversation today.
Well, no. But this is great that we do this, and not to mention we recorded it, John.
And you'll hear it in a couple of days.
And I'm going to tell you one more thing, and I've told you this before. I know, I get it. It's me. It is like me telling my kid, "You're beautiful." So you're good at this. Like, this is not bullshit. There are feelings, so we'll be talking about a topic and there are feelings that I feel. I haven't surfaced them, but you knew exactly and you went right there and you're like, fucking God. Like, like you're good at this. Like,
thank you, man.
No,
I appreciate that.
I swear to God, this isn't bullshit. So perhaps this is something that had to happen to you. You had to be a contractor. You had to live that life.
Listen, whatever's happened, absolutely.
You had to be super organized. You had to have OCD. You had to go through that. You had to go crash. You had to go, oh my God. And now you're here.
I always say I've always thought of one thing. I've always said everything that's happened to me in my life, and I've been blessed to have a loving family, great friends. I've had a very, I'm going to say good life. Just use that word good. I've had a very good life. I'm very thankful for that. But I've always said that what has the experiences I've experienced in my life, especially in the last probably 10, 15 years, have been preparing me for something. And I don't know what, when I always say I don't know what exactly it is, but I always feel like it's been prepared. Like, because the John of X amount of years ago to the John of today, while on a surface level of, friendship, social personality, I'll say, probably hasn't changed much. Like, you'll joke around, bullshit, bust balls, all that stuff. But the inner John that was never there before is very different. And I've been prepared, whether it's to do this or to do something else. Like I've always said, like I wouldn't be here if I didn't have those experiences. Like I wouldn't be here if I didn't, if I wasn't at my worst 8, 9, 10, 11 years ago, like where, it was like life was, let it stop now.
Yeah. Very dark. And so to wrap it up, because we got to go. Honestly, part of this process is, we talked about this last episode, is letting go. And as I said, let the universe do with me what it wants. Remember that we said that?
Yeah, let it do with me what it let it do with me what it wants, but it doesn't mean we don't take action.
We're always taking action.
Yeah.
We've been doing this show for, it's going to be a year.
Be okay with what it gives us.
We've been doing this for almost a year.
Yeah, November.
We had every reason, like right now I got to go. We came a little early. We have every reason to not do it, to not continue doing it, right? It's time that we don't get back. We're not getting paid. We're busy. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. But there is a deep love. And that's why we do it. In other words, we figured out a way where we'll do 2 in a day so that we have content for, because we love this, because nobody's forcing us, nobody's paying us, nobody. And if one day somebody pays, well, God bless you, good for us. Then we're going to be fulfilled in all aspects. We're going to be. Remember what they say, where if you find something you love to do, you never work
a day in your life, and that's how I feel when I do this.
Done.
It's not work. So because it's not work right now, but it's not work.
I continue, as you know, I'm on a life crossroads.
Yeah, sure.
And the universe is doing a lot of things with me, right? The universe is throwing all sorts of clues and thoughts.
I think the universe is hearing you right now.
And it's just throwing all these things at me. And I haven't figured out my situation, and I'm not trying to. I
think you are, but you're not overly trying to. You're navigating, but you're not forcing things.
That's the F word.
Yeah. That's the F word.
That's the F word. Is where I would want to force something before.
Don't say force, kids. It's a bad word.
I'm not trying to force it now. And I told you of how I felt today. This morning I woke up very differently. I was feeling
light and airy.
Yeah. And just come back. So now we land this spaceship, because we weren't going to go here, but I love that we went here, because
that's funny.
I love that we went here. Like, I really do. And it's,
sometimes I have a hard time naming our episodes because we start one place, end another. And I'm like, I gotta try to figure it out.
But if this was our put it on the table moment for the universe, yeah, so let it be, because we come at this in a very sincere manner. And here's the other one, just to show you just how freaking true, is I try to affect positively everybody I come in contact with.
Sure.
And I find myself doing it by default. And I think it goes along with my personality.
But just be wary of. I mean, be wary. But just remember, there are
no forcing.
No forcing. All right, that's it. That's all I was going to say. Because there's people that I want to try to force it sometimes, and it's better to stay silent with that person.
Months ago, we had an episode of forcing.
Yeah, about forcing it. Yeah, no.
And now today, I can tell you that,
and it's hard around, but it is what it is, and there's an acceptance of it, and that's it.
And so I am a little bit of a salesman. In other words. I am a little bit.
You get what you're saying.
But I'll tell you that, part of selling a product is I'm not just going to shove it down your throat, right? Because that doesn't work. But I will show you this is an exceptional product. Exceptional. And I can only talk about my experience with the product. But should you ever want to feel it and know a little bit about it, I will be more than willing to show it to you. But again, if you want to play around with it and
the best part is you already have this product in your hands. All we could do,
the iPhone,
all we could do is show you the key to unlock it.
Right.
You already have it. So, nobody's, and it's not like we're not selling anything right at this moment, but it's not like, but it's, you have it. You just we could show you the key if people want to listen.
Yeah.
And you have 47 episodes already in the bank that you can listen to. 48 with today. We're approaching 50. So
honestly, for sure. And again, if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, skip it. Maybe there's another one you like. Who knows? But this, I'm telling you, it's something that we discover about ourselves
every week,
right? Live. And geez, guys,
if you're not noticing things inside of you while you're doing this, then as Dr. Joe Dispenza said, and this isn't related to Dr. Joe, but I love when he says it, well, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. If you're not seeing your own hangups, and the hangups are mental blocks that you have, voices in your head that are there whispering constantly to you to keep you stuck. If you're practicing this and you're not noticing those, keep practicing. I mean, the practice never stops, but maybe practice a little bit more. Maybe 5 minutes a day meditation is not enough.
Yeah.
Maybe for you, it's not enough. Maybe you need 10, 15 minutes a day. And it's going to be hard to do those 15 minutes a day. Your body's going to tell you no. Your mind's going to tell you don't do it. And that's the key, is when you hear that voice says don't do it, it's because the body and the mind don't like being uncomfortable. That's one thing I did learn from him is, the state of this baseline that we like. Our bodies don't like shifting from that, and they will keep us there, everything they could do. But in that uncomfortable zone is where change is made. So if it feels uncomfortable, now you're making progress.
And that's fine.
If even me, to this day, when I do meditations, they feel uncomfortable at times. Well, of course they do. My body's going, come on, get up.
Yes.
Is it 5 minutes up? I'll keep sitting there, and I'll watch that thought say, is it 5 minutes up? And I'll realize that thought is there because it wants me to break from that and go engage in something. And that, when you start noticing that voice, now you're starting to, there's the key, unlock that.
Yeah.
But we got to wrap it up because people to go and we got places to go, people to see. We got to keep
people to do.
We got to keep up moving with Twix.
We have
Twix commercial.
No, we have places to see.
Caramel satisfaction. No? All right. That was when I was
no, not at all. No. We weren't around back then.
You're a few years behind me.
Yeah, no, I'm not that far behind you.
Yeah. But all right. So we're good. All right. I'll figure out what the hell to name this.
The unnameable episode.
Unnameable episode later. Started out with movies and ended up here, but okay.
That's great.
All right. So we'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for coming out. Hope you learned something. And we'll do a very quick meditation because we do have to wrap it up. So we'll do a very quick meditation, but I implore you to do it on your own afterwards. Use us as a starter, and then you go from there. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths. Start to slowly just slow the mind stream down. And all we're going to do today is, because we spoke about a lot of different things. You know what? And money was a big topic. Just sit on that. Let's just sit on that and see what your relationship with money is. See what comes up. You're not asking a question. I don't want you to ask a question. I don't want you to answer a question. I want you to just notice what comes up. When I say, what is your relationship with money? Just sit on that question. Notice the answer that comes up. Is it an answer that is in line with your values? Keep breathing to bring your focus to your breath. Whatever answers are coming up, I don't want you to chase them. I don't want you to judge them. Just notice them and then come back to your breath. They practice in seeing what your mind is throwing out at you and being the awareness to watch it, notice it, and then shift your focus back to where you want it. Take a couple of more. Last one. And slowly open our eyes. And please do stay here if you want for a little bit longer while we bounce. All right, guys. Everybody, thank you for tuning in and catch you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Beautiful.
The insights and discussions that we speak about on our show are our own opinions and based on our life experiences. If you or someone in your family or someone you know is suffering and in need of help, please get them that help through medical attention or seeking proper therapy. Again, what we speak about are based on our experiences and not intended to be taken as a form of therapy. Thank you.